Street as well, and a second car which is up on the pavement that was clearly also involved in the crash has had its bonnet smashed in as well. And police got called out here to this estate just before 6 yesterday evening to reports of a fight on the adjacent Overton Road, and there they found two men in their 20s who'd been stabbed. Both were rushed to hospital, where sadly one lost his life just a few hours later. So far there have been no arrests. Now this man, this victim, he is the 35th person to be stabbed to death in the capital so far this year, and just for context, that compares to 85 fatal stabbings in London in 2019 last year. So there has been something of a drop, but not that large sadly at all, given the lull of course that we did see in violence in those long months of lockdown.
Thanks for that. That's Rachel Venables reporting from the scene in Lambeth. Time for a couple of your emails concerning the migrant crossing. B says France, with its threat of tipped for tat quarantine measures, confirms all decisions between these two countries are not led by the science, they're all to do with politics. Wesley Burns says the EU is so caring about migrants. Not. The fascinating thing about this case, and tragic as it is that he'd applied and not gotten asylum in France. So by the treaty, he should have been taken back to Italy. Instead, he was just allowed to roam the jungle in Calais and then try and make that fatal crossing. We'll come back to that conversation. Also coming up later in this hour, massive news in the US, pretty big news here in the UK. The mastermind senior advisor to President Donald Trump, Steve Bannon.
We are getting some news that Steve Bannon has been arrested and indicted by the Manhattan U.S. Attorney.
Oh, we're going to play that again. Back it up again, please, Phil. I just love the YouTube, because you got to love those Americans. What is that, Steve? Do it again.
We are getting some news that Steve Bannon has been arrested and indicted by the Manhattan U.S. Attorney.
You got to love it, isn't it? Eh? You never get that on. You could never see that on the sky. So, what? 7:30, you're listening to Breakfast with me, Nick Ferrari, here at LBC News Time. Simon Conway.
New figures show retail sales in Britain are now 3% above where they were in February before the coronavirus pandemic hit. Food stores and online operations are still doing particularly well, but clothing continues to struggle despite a month-on-month rise. Joe Biden is promising to end what he calls a season of darkness in America if he's elected president later this year. The 77-year-old has accepted the Democratic nomination and in his speech accused Donald Trump of fanning the flames of hate and division. British holidaymakers are facing another rush to get home in time to avoid having to quarantine for a fortnight. Croatia, Austria and Trinidad and Tobago are being taken off the UK's safe travel list from 4 a.m. tomorrow. And the weather, very windy for England and Wales with blustery showers for many. Rain or showers across Scotland and Northern Ireland, a high of 24 degrees.
Eddie Mair, Monday to Friday from 4 p.m.
For the people who've been calling this programme that I've heard from, who for all sorts of reasons feel very let down by the system, either because they were ill during their mocks or their school or college has been marked down, what help is available for them? What about the right to individual appeals?
Every year, a lot of young people get A-level grades that don't match what they were predicted.
Yeah, well, that's normally because they've sat the exam and not done well enough. This is because they've been told by a system that many people regard as unfair that they've not done well enough. So let's not make that comparison.
Eddie Mair, Monday to Friday from 4 p.m. on LBC.
The Bosch summer sale is now on at Euronics, with a great range including refrigeration and washing machines and a 5-year warranty on selected models too. Euronics is the home of electricals, where you'll find great brands, great local service and always great value. And right now, great deals with Bosch. So with over 600 local stores safely welcoming you back, why not come in and take a look at what's on offer? To find your local store or shop online, visit us at euronics.co.uk. Subject to availability, see website for full T's and C's.
Did you know that Co-op now deliver repeat prescriptions to your home for free? If you're registered with a GP in England, you can securely view and order your repeat prescription online. Your medication is delivered to you free of charge and at no extra cost to the NHS. There's no need to visit a pharmacy unless you want to. Search Co-op Health to download the app or register online. Co-op, it's what we do. Co-op Health is a provider of NHS services. Full terms and conditions available at coop.co.uk/health.
Say hello to summer data deals at Vodafone. Get the Samsung Galaxy S25G with double data. 48 gigabytes for the price of 24. For £51 per month plus £19 up front. Just one of the amazing offers in the Vodafone summer data deals. Switch to the UK's best mobile data network, online or in store.
thought you couldn't be the owner of such a precious commodity? Think again. At Gold Bank London, we live and breathe gold. Solid 24-karat gold. Offering bars from less than £60. Gold Bank London is the easy way for you to begin your gold ownership journey. Want to increase your gold portfolio? Want to sell your gold at our best price? Visit gold-bank.co.uk now.
Hi, I'm Jake, and I'm a cleaner for TfL. We're keeping the transport network cleaner and safer than ever before by regularly spraying all our services with hospital-grade antiviral disinfectant. It kills viruses and bacteria on contact, so the network is as safe as possible for everyone. Please also remember, everyone must wear a face covering at all times, unless you are exempt. To find out more, search TfL Restart Plan. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
Nick the Worry at breakfast. Call 0345 6060 973.
7:35. Back to your views. The collapse of talks between Britain and the EU, how the so-called migrant crisis will be handled post-Brexit, and also, and never, and I wouldn't for a second speak ill of the dead, but can we just please disavow ourselves of the belief that all these folk are asylum seekers? And it doesn't make it right, but they are economic migrants. This person had no claim to asylum. It's tragic that it ended the way it did. But for one moment, can these bedwetting, hand-wringing liberals just accept that Britain serves as a massive magnet to these poor souls who spend years travelling from Sudan through Libya, through Lampedusa, through the rest of Italy, up through France, because they see the White Cliffs of Dover, they think they're painted gold, and something has to be done, or more people like this poor individual will perish. More on that in a moment. Let's dive into the world of business and finance, and some figures released, I think, within the last 40 minutes or so that are very crucial to the economy. Aquis Exchange commentator David Buick has them in front of him. David, morning.
Morning to you, Nick. Yep, borrowing requirements, the public sector borrowing requirements. The debt has reached for the first time £2 trillion as the government hit borrowing of 26.7 billion in July. That's according to
back.
Yeah, absolutely. The Office of National Statistics said borrowing for the last month was 28.3 billion, more than at the same time this time last year, which is hardly surprising. The debt overall hit 2.004 trillion for the first time. That's up on this year 227.6 billion pounds. The one thing before people go into apoplexy, 10-year yield on gilts is 0.25%. Andrew Bailey, sir, Debt Office, fill your boots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to just touch on the retail sales that your colleague announced, and just put a little bit more thoughts towards it. The increase in sales was 3.6% in July. That's 3% above February. But one or two interesting things came out, Nick. Fuel was down 17%.
Right.
And road traffic, all of this was down 17%. Clothes, though they were up 11.9% in August, since February, they're still down 25.7%.
Interesting. Shall we move on and look overseas? We're going to be doing a very big story in news terms across the water concerning Steve Bannon, but there are big economic stories developing in the US as well, David.
Well, very quickly, we had huge warnings yesterday from the Federal Reserve Chairman Jay Powell, who said to the government, we need to have your stimulus package of 1.2 trillion, and we're probably going to need more, so could you please get on with it? And then this was endorsed by what they call initial jobless claims, where another 1.1 million people were claiming benefits. This goes to show that a V-shaped recovery is far from guaranteed. Funnily enough, the stock market wobbled for a little bit in Europe particularly, but it regained its sort of posture in the United States, particularly on the back of tech sector. But we have been warned that the economy is very brittle and is in still need of further help.
Let's move to the supermarket sector. Famously, one of their adverts used to have a shopper tapping their back pocket at Asda, but now they could be on the block.
Well, if you recall, there was a chat between Asda and Sainsbury's, because it looked like Walmart wanted to get rid of them. And unfortunately, the regulator was having none of it, which was a great pity. And so what do we do with it? There was talks of an IPO, but that didn't go down well because there was a concern about a flooding of the market. Nonetheless, we've got two private equity companies, Lone Star, who's backed for this specific deal by a chap called Paul Mason, who was chief executive of Asda 20 years ago, and is up against Apollo private equity team, which again is backed by Bob Templeman, who ran Debenhams when it was successful very quickly, if you know what I mean, to buy this operation. Walmart still want to maintain a minority interest, but they think the price tag will be about £6 billion. Apollo, I don't know whether they're favourites or not, but they've got pretty good success. They were involved in deals including Albertson, which is a supermarket in the United States. They also dealt and made a huge success out of Gala Coral. So it's interesting, and they also took Swiss Watches of Switzerland as an IPO. So it's two very...